Hello there, everybody. I've been doing a tradition since I more or less started Money Community that in August I sit on the balcony and show the findings that I have made during the summertime and why change. So I will do it this year also, even though it will be a little bit more than just the summer, because the last vinyl and CD update I did was in beginning of May, so there's a little bit of spring, also spring findings. I haven't done a vinyl CD update since the jazz invasion, when I found all these jazz records during March, February. So I have a lot to show, so I'm going to try to take this as fast as I can. But the summer itself has been so. I haven't made any huge findings, a little here, a little there, every now and then, and it's been totally been okay summer, but not that big, even though I'm very glad that the outdoor flea markets are back again after this last year's problem with you-know-what. So I'm very happy with that, even though there haven't been raining records over them exactly. But I will do a video compilation of what I've been doing during July when it comes to thrift stores findings and searching for records during the summertime. But so a lot of these you might see there also, but I will show them and talk more about them now, and I will be able to in that summer outdoor video that will be hopefully out pretty soon. But let's be showing what I've been finding. We have a lot to go through. Since May I have been finding all these. So we have to do. Starting with singles, I hope that some of these I haven't shown anyway, but I don't think so. Tracy Ullman, Shattered. Tracy Ullman, sadly forgotten today that she actually did great music with charming 60s style. UK was having a huge 60s trend in the beginning of the 80s, where they did a whole lot of songs that were inspired by the 60s and trying to recreate the 60s music in every form. In my opinion, I think that trend was not all that good, but Tracy Ullman was the exception. She was actually good. We have Liz Sørensen, Tag mig med storm. My Danish is a little bit rusty. It's a Danish singer. We have Kim Appleby from Mel and Kim, 80s band, but she had a solo career also in 1991. Mama Is This, the third single from her album, that also contained Oprah and GLAD. We have TLC in its earliest form, and a really great funky single called What About Our Friends, produced by Dallas Austin. This is a really great one. Some of the songs that made me discover TLC actually. This one is a little special. You know the bird song, the bird dance. It's been made in various languages. In Swedish, it's been made in many languages, British also. But I didn't know that it was a French version that I managed to find. Le Danse de Canard. And on the B-side, L'amour comme ça, by J.J. Lionel. The Swedish version is of course a cult classic, one of those that is so make you want to hide your face in shame while you're laughing at it because it's so stupid. This is not that horrible, but is of course the song and dance itself is really not that good actually. It's fun to have it in French actually. We have more Danish. Sanne Salomonsen in duet with Thomas Helmig. Jeg i liv. Jeg i live. And the B-side, Ingen kan forhindre. Jazz single. This is Oscar Pettiford All Stars. Jazz Scene, Bohemia. Jazz Scene is the album it's picked from. Bohemia After Dark and Kaman Kamen. And we have some names here. I managed to Google it because I only found it in this not correct sleeve. G.D. Grice, we have Jerome Richards, we have Donald Byrd, Ernie Royal, Bob Brookmeyer, Don Ebony, Oscar Pettiford of course then, and O.C. Johnson, recorded in 1955. Some really great bebop. Paul McCartney, Spice Like Ice, and I know many Paul McCartney fans sees this as one of the worst songs he has done, but that's me. I like the 80s and I think it's a pretty catchy, great song, so I really felt like I wanted to have it. He's done a great singing songs in the 80s also. Live with it. We have some Rod Stewart, Love Touch from 1986. Tina Turner, Paradise Is Here. I think it is one of the final singles from the Break Every Rule album. But my main goal were actually the B-side. We have a live version of the song In the Midnight Hour, Wilson Pickett song. And I heard that song a couple of times in radio when I was a kid, so it was very fun to find it as a single. We have some Elton John. Grow Some Funk of Your Own, and I Feel Like a Bullet in the Gun of Robert Ford, from 1975 by Elton John. I have the album also. And by there we're leaving the singles and going to the vinyl singles, that is. We're going to CD singles because at these outdoor thrift stores in the beginning of July I managed to find a little stack of CD singles actually that were really cheap. Swedish singer Titiyo with the song Come Along, made by Peter Svensson from the Cardigans. A Swedish hit from the O-O's. Mariah Carey, Boy I Need You, from the Charm Bracelet album. And normally I prefer Mariah Carey a little bit further back in time, but still amazing singer, beautiful woman. We have Rydell and Quick. Rydell and Quick is one of these call them cover bands that every festival, street festival, hires for the beer tents. Normally I don't give a damn about that kind of music, but here they have made a new song, Everybody Wants to Be a Star, that actually makes fun of American Idol and all of these that where they want to become famous very fast, and it is actually, instead of the pub rock that they normally do, a disco song, and actually by far the best thing they have done. George Michael, amazing, really amazing song, good title, fitting title. We have some Danny Minogue, Kylie's kid sister, I Begin to Wonder, from 2001, 3. And we have a girl band that actually has been doing some great songs, Girls Aloud, and the song Sound of the Underground. Some O.O. music here, and some Dutch German disco. Alice DJ, Better Off Alone. Eurodance, So now, no more singles. Focusing on a 78 that I actually did find. Not often that I find great 78s, but I found a 78 with Les Brown and his band of renown. This is a great label, Columbia Swing Music Series. And this is Sixpence, and on the other side, Karaoke from the movie Fly Down to Rio. CDs. We have Alphaville from Germany with a compilation that is pretty normal here in Sweden. This is from 1992, so this is a compilation with their most famous songs. I got it for 10 cents actually, so I felt like I could upgrade the version that I have, until I find a more complete with Alphaville, because they are still existing and make music today also. This one I was really happy for. Kula Shaker, British indie band that has very much oriental music from India involved in their music. They have Hindu sounding stuff combined with Britpop style. Some of the title is Govinda. It was one of the biggest hits. Tatva was another great hit. I think that these is a great band. Back then, when this album came in 1997, I wasn't all that thrilled, but I've learned to like it a lot. And I wanted to have this album for quite some time. I'm very happy that I finally found it. And not only that, as you can see, it is a limited edition double CD that also, besides the normal CD, contains a single with another song, a cover of the Deep Purple song Hush. It's really great. So it's 2 CDs in a limited edition. In May I managed to find a great deal of synth pop CDs, I was really happy because I don't find all that much of modern synth pop. By modern we're talking about 99, 00, 01 and so on. I don't find all that much of newer synth pop, so I was very happy to find this. We're having a band called V&V Nation with the song Judgment. V&V Nation is British, if I'm not wrong. Then we have a Swedish band called Covenant. This is United States of Mind from 2000. This is the same band with the album after that from 2002, Northern Light. This is a cool sleeve, isn't it? Another V&V Nation, Of Faith, Power and Glory from 2009. Another Covenant, Sky Shaper from 2006. And a Norwegian synth-pop band that I actually know about, Apoptygma Berserk, with the album Sonic Diary, where they actually makes a whole lot of covers of old 80s songs. So it's very funny to hear them in modern synth costume. Kim Wilde's Cambodia, we have Metallica's Fade to Black in synth version, can't be worse than original. The Damned Don't Cry by Visage, OMD's Electricity and so on. New Order's Bizarre Life Triangle in modern synth pop version. So now the huge stack of vinyl. a total of 21 full-length vinyls. This is one of the latest findings. I found it yesterday, Saturday. This is another Jack Teagarden, a standard library of jazz volume 2 from Storyville, a label Storyville, that I have some records with. And what's interesting about it is that the few I have all includes Aunt Haggard's Blues. I have one with another one with Jack Teagarden, and I also have one with Art Tatum, and they all include Aunt Haggard's Blues. I don't know if some deal that Story will have, that they need to have Aunt Haggard's Blues on every album they release. But this is big band jazz, 40 style. Jazz again, even jazz section now. Woody Herman live at the Hollywood Palladium 1948. Listen to this one, and it's really, really great, with a whole lot of vocals. Live radio recording, just the way I like it. This is a specialty that I wanted to have for one reason, besides that it most likely is great music, but this is an album called Jam Session, and this is what it looks like. This is an album from a box set. When I started to listen to jazz, 1986-87, a teacher of mine recorded this album. I didn't know it then, but I found it out later, on cassette. And back then, when I was newly in love with jazz, I listened to this over and over and over again during the 80s and afterwards also. I really like this album, and it was really fun to have an own copy of it. And it is from a Reader's Digest album box. We have Buck Clayton plays 50s or 60s recordings of Buck Clayton. Pure great swing, Buck Clayton, P.B. Russell, Bud Freeman, Vic Dickinson, Luke Carter, and Joe Jones. And interesting is Luke Carter plays both piano and bass. I don't know if he's managed to do that, but really great to have. We have Lionel Hampton, Star Power. Now, normally I don't buy albums that much that don't contain a real description of who is playing and when the recordings are from and so on, because this is a low budget compilation very much, and very vague information featuring a couple of names. But then I looked at the names: Fats Navarro, Benny Bailey, Wes Montgomery, Charlie Mingus, and recordings from 1948. This is Lionel Hampton going bebop instead of big band. I don't have any Lionel Hampton in bebop, so I bought it only for that. Now, unfortunately, this wasn't as good as I thought it was, as so-so quality of the recordings. So, but I keep it anyway until I find a better record with Lionel Hampton playing bebop. So it will stay still anyway, for now. We have one of these Verve series, Verve Jazz number 15. In this case, doesn't say a bit about what it is, but in this case it is John Hodges featuring Earl Hines, and recording from 1966, and Kenny Burrell on guitar. Really great to have. A couple music disc recordings, music disc releases, I would say. Ben Webster, a rare live performance from 1962, and he plays with 75% of modern jazz quartet, which includes John Lewis, Milt Jackson, and Kenny Clarke, the original modern jazz quartet. and live also. So this one was a must-have. And speaking of rare live performances, there is one with Coleman Hawkins. These ones are from 1958 and 59. Here we have Nat Pierce, we have Eddie Jones, Bobby Donaldson, and Jimmy Cleveland. And Coleman Hawkins, always welcome. And finally, when it comes to jazz, Teddy Wilson, Stomping at the Savoy. This is very late 67's release, released on Black Lion label. This contains Dave Shepard clarinet, Ronnie Gleaves vibraphone, Peter Chapman bass, and Johnny Richardson drums. So this can't go wrong. Really great quality also. Now, for all of you who watches Rachel the Music Man stream, knows that this person has been heavily promoted. And if it wasn't for Rachel, I think no one in the Brainerd community would know who this is. A 12-year-old Dutch singer, Henjay. I didn't buy it for the musically. I didn't buy it because Rachel had promoted it. I bought it because what I've heard was not all that good. And I'm a sucker for these that are so bad that it's actually laughable. And this is in the line of that. Especially when you look at the cover. 12-year-old boy looks like a refugee from the wax cabinet of Madame Tussauds. And what about this? The World of David Bowie that I found for $1. This is a David Bowie record with early recordings, very early recordings, compilation. So from the 60s, first albums. And until I find those albums, I have no high hopes of getting those because they are very expensive. But until then, I keep, of course, this one. Really fun to have. And while we're at the 60s, I don't buy all that much 60s soul, but I felt like this one was fun to have. Martha and the Vandellas and a Pickwick release called Dancing in the Streets. And yes, that is the same song that David Bowie and Mick Jagger did. Low budget compilation, but I'm not that picky when it comes to 60s soul. Marching into the 70s, and a record I found also yesterday, Saturday, for 50 cents only. Captain and the Tennille, Love Will Keep Us Together, from 1975. Some great singer-songwriting style. 70s soul, Four Tops. Night Lights Harmony, from 1975 also. And do you hear something in the background? It is someone who's pulling out the trash can. But great to have 70s soul. I don't find that much 70s soul these days. I'm disappointed about that. Ulla Jones. Who is Ulla Jones, you might ask? That is the former wife of the ex-wife of Quincy Jones. This is the album That's Nifty from 1979. And this is made in Sweden with Swedish musicians, famous one, Björn Gilson, Janne Schaffer, and so on. Marie Bergman, Maritza Horn, Turid. I've bought it for 10 cents, so it's more or less a blind buy. I was a little bit curious, actually. So it's not produced by Quincy Jones. He was only married to him once. We have an Eagles, On the Border, from 1974. nice find. And 70 soul. Spinners. Happiness is being with the Spinners from 1976. On Atlantic. And finally on the 70s, I normally don't buy all that much compilations, but this one I needed to have because it was a compilation with songs from Soul Train Show, Don Cornelius, and the hits that made it happen, Soul Train. It actually isn't a collection with the most, only the most ordinary Souls tracks. We have Timmy Thomas, Why Can't We Live Together, Joe Tex, I Got You, Independence, Leaving Me, Dennis Coffey, Scorpio, never heard of. Combined together with those that actually is pretty famous, Curtis Mayfield, Superfly, and Billy Paul, Me and Mrs. Jones, and so on. OJ's Backstabbers, Brady's Dead, Curtis. So it is little lesser known stuff with big hits. Really great to have. Unfortunately, it is of course not live from the show, but really fun to have anyway. 80s, not that much actually. This was also a little bit of a blind buy. I bought one record before by her, but I wasn't that thrilled actually. But for 10 cents I could actually do another shot of Nona Hendrix, Art of Defense from 1984, I think. 84, yes. This one I have listened to actually, from 1982. Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band, The Distance. This is a good album. He had made even stronger albums, but it's definitely a good album. Could have made it maybe a little stronger, but still a great album, so it will definitely stay in the collection. We have Eric Clapton. Not often I buy Eric Clapton, but 80s Eric Clapton I do like a lot. So I bought from 1989 Journeyman with Pretending and Bad Love and so on. No Alibis. '80s soul, that is something that I don't find all that much these days, as I said in my when I show my soul records. But I bought the Gap Band from 1983 and Strike a Groove. This is my first album by Gap Band, and it is released on something called Passport Records. And finally, as you do know, I do like Disney, so this one was a must buy. But I didn't buy it only for Disney, because as I said, I like when it's so hilariously bad that actually you wonder how did they ever think of it. And normally many of these albums from Swedish releases of Disney's favoritserie, Disney's favorite series, is really bad, with horrible acting and so on. The storylines are little so at the best. And this is Super Goofy, eating a nut, and he becomes a superhero. So really fun to have. So that was this summer, July and May's findings. If you put May and July together, May, June, July. If you put May, June, July together, make it a pretty okay summer actually. A pretty good summer. But if you only take it for July, okay at the best. So I did this as fast as I could, as it was pretty much. So it is actually some left of the summer, so let's hope that is more outdoor thrift stores out there and more records to find. I read on Facebook that it might actually be a chance that it could be a record fair here in Sundsvall, the annual record fair coming back in October. So it will be very, very interesting to see if that happens and what happens there. So until next time, enjoy what's left of the summer and take care and so long.